All right, we're going to call the meeting to order in a few minutes. We're going to get the swearing in done first. Mark Sturk is going to swear in Ann Holtz. Then Ann Holtz will swear in the trustees and myself. So give us a few minutes, and then I'm happy to see everyone's here. Let them know it is a breath of fresh air right now. Things are going to change. They're not going to change drastically. We're going to work together. We're going to make this fun. There's a lot of things that can be done in this village. Should have been done a long time ago. We're going to make sure it is done this time. All of us will have an open door policy. You want to talk to us, we'll talk to you. Public comment's going to change. You're going to come up there, you're going to say what you need. If we try to answer you, we will be here all night because we could have a lot of people coming up here. But what we will do, instead of just listening to you and then just kind of blowing you off, is what happened before. We're going to set you up with someone who's going to be able to help you out with what you need, what you're looking for. We'll get you the answers. Like I said, this is your village. This is our village. So we're going to make it to where you guys know everything that's pretty much we know. There'll be a couple things that I'm sure I can't talk about, but I'm finding that out already. So with that, I'd like to start swearing in.
Okay, raise your right hand. I, Ann Holtz, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of
clerk
of the Village of Homer Glen
of the Village of Homer Glen
to the best of my
to
ability.
the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a cheat sheet because I didn't remember exactly.
Stand side.
In case there's a test.
You know it by heart.
No, I don't.
Raise your hand. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of mayor
the duties of the office of mayor
of the Village of Homer Glen
of the Village of Homer Glen
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability. Thank you very much.
That's all. You gotta sign it anyway.
Did you put yours on already? I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
That I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of trustee
of the office of trustee
for the Village of Homer Glen
to the Village of Homer Glen
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Carla?
I do solemnly swear
That I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United
and the
States
Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of trustee
of the office of trustee
for the village of Homer Glen
for the village of Homer Glen
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
You did or you did? Yeah. We have one more trustee that's going to be sworn in. She is a trustee with the township right now. She wanted to wait until her last meeting, which will be May 11th. So on May 13th, she will be sworn in as the last trustee, and we've got a great team to work with here. And with that being said, we have cake and we have drinks, I believe, back there. So if someone could cut the cake and
Well, you should cut the cake.
I should cut the cake?
Absolutely. Yeah, that'd be great.
No, it's the new. Okay. I didn't even open it.
All right, I'll be back. Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike.
It was a joke. Oh, you were late? Good.
It's in her position.
Right? Just balance it out. I'm sorry, to your left. Stay close.
All right, how do you want it?
Move it over. Yeah, move it over. Perfect. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Another one. 2, 3. One, 2, 3. All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you. All set? Okay, now we'll call the meeting to order. If everyone could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Present.
Trustee Caprio?
Present.
Trustee Rogers?
Present.
Trustee Suisse?
Present.
Mayor Yukich?
Present. Ooh, that sounded strange. Okay, we don't have any minutes. So, all right, yeah, because we can't amend the agenda right now because there's no agenda. All right. The next agenda is public comment. And as it used to be said, could you please limit it to 3 minutes? But I promise, if you do come up here and you ask a question, it will be answered. With that being said, Dennis Gerwing.
I'll relinquish what I was going to say, except congratulations to all the newly elected people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You'll hear more from me, I'm sure, later on.
I'm sure we will. All right, Wayne Fairbrother.
Wayne Fairbrother, 14459 Provençal Drive, Homer Glen. Again, I'd like to congratulate all the new trustees and the mayor on their election to the office. The comment I have is I would like to see the village manager or the finance director more fully discuss the Chicago Tribune article of 2 weeks ago about the Homer Glen's investment in the municipal investment fund and their loss and fraud involved in that, and the reported loss of $837,000 to Homer Glen. They could either talk about this meeting or next meeting. Thank you.
If it's okay with you, John's not here right now. Is it something we can put on the?
Absolutely, be happy to give you a report. And I would just say this real quick. John just said say this real quick. I have a lot of respect for the media, but the media always reports things as loss. Okay, it's not a loss. Okay, there was theft that happened. They're recouping, working very hard to recoup money that was stolen. But I understand the Tribune's need to use the word loss, but it isn't officially a loss. But we will report on it, absolutely.
Okay, Wayne. Last, Lynn McGarry.
Lynn McGarry, 14104 Garibaldi Avenue, Orland Park, Homer Glen. The Homer Township Chamber of Commerce and me want to extend our congratulations to the new trustees and the village clerk on your victory in the April 7th election. And we look forward to working with you on all the issues that impact the business community.
Same here. Thank you, Lynn. Okay, that's it for public comment right now. Yes, Bob. Sure. No.
Is any of you happy with me?
We're all happy with you.
Well, I know this. Okay. Everybody is congratulating you and our new board members, but we have a few people who have been on the board that deserve our thank you. As I said at the last meeting, you have all done a wonderful job, and I will keep an eye on you all, as I always have. But one thing, the love of my town is administered through you. And keep that in your faith, in your credo, in your motto, in your heart. Because all of us will love you for it, and the generations to follow will honor you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Get away, Bob.
All right, we have legislative and action items. Pretty much the only thing that we have on it tonight is we are going to consider the approval of a contract for landscape maintenance services for the village property at 14240 West 151st Street with R&R Yard Design out of Matson, Illinois. There are 5 options that we can pick from on this, and what we had talked about at the last meeting was what we want to do is hear from the village on whether we're going to do something with Woodbine Golf Course to keep it open, or if we're just going to close it right off the bat. But with that being said, I just want to make sure the whole village understands that right now, we're paying the fees for it. If we do open up the golf course, we're going to try to work it out to where there is no cost to the village at all. They'll maintain the golf course, they'll cut the grass, they'll fertilize it, they'll keep all the people that live around Woodbine that affects the most happy. They'll have the golf course open. They keep the money for this year because right now, if they did decide to go in there, we're not giving them a lot of time and they're going to be putting in a lot of work. So what we want to do is we want to hire the landscape company to maintain it for right now. If someone does decide to come in, then the landscape company, they can either work for them or be up to who's ever running the golf course to do it. So with that being said, there are, like I said, there's 5 options, and I guess I'll read through them just to let you know. I'm going to read the following 5 options for the board to consider regarding the landscape maintenance services for the future Village Hall Park property. This would be on a per cut, per application basis for a limited time as the future use of this property is contemplated by the village board. Option 1 is to approve a contract with R&R Yard Design for landscape maintenance services for future Village Park property in the amount of $1,997.50 per cut and $3,600 per application of both fertilizer and weed control. 100 feet around the property only. It is understood that this option does not include specialized maintenance to preserve the existing greens or tees or fairways. Option 2 is to approve a contract with R&R Yard Design for landscape maintenance services for the future Village Park in the amount of $2,578.75 per cut and $3,600 per application for both fertilizer and weed control, and again with a 100-foot parameter. And again, it does not maintain or preserve the existing greens, tees, and fairways. Option 3 is to approve a contract with R&R Yard Design for landscape maintenance services for the future Village Park property in the amount of $3,608.75 per cut and $6,871.30 per application for fertilizer only, doing the entire property. This option does include specialized cutting of the greens, tees, and fairways. However, this option does not include weed control on the property. Option 4 is approve a contract with R&R Yard Design for the future park in the amount of $3,608.75 per cut, $7,280.82 per application of weed control only for the entire property. This option does also include cutting the greens, tees, fairways. However, it does not include fertilizing the property. Option 5 is to approve a contract with R&R in the amount of $3,608.75 per cut, $6,871.30 per application of fertilizer only, entire property, and $7,280.82 per application of weed control only, entire property. This option does include specializing cuts of the greens, tees, and fairways. Like I said, what we're going to do is when we put this out to bid, what, 8 months ago, 9 months ago, one bid came back at $29,000. I'm pretty sure everyone in here knew that that was not going to happen. When we sent the bid out for the second time, and this is to keep it as a golf course, the bid came back at $150,000 to $214,000. So, like I said, we don't have this in the budget to pay. We can put it in there, but it's something that I don't feel the taxpayers should be paying. So, what I was thinking on it, and I've kind of brought it up since all this disaster happened, is get someone in there to run it until we find out what we're going to do with Woodbine. Right now, you cannot use it for anything except for walking around as a park. You can't put the sports in there, and obviously you wouldn't be able to have golfers in there if no one's going to maintain it. We have to have an engineer go in there to find out what we can do to it. We have to correct the flooding problem that is affecting Woodbine and part of Pebble Creek. So if they do correct it, they might have to come back to dump the water in the golf course, so they're going to have to tear up some of the golf course. But with all this being done, you're still looking at least 2 to 4 years before anything could be determined of what we're going to do, figure out what the park plan is going to be, and then figure out where we're going to get the money to pay for it. I'm a firm believer in not raising taxes. So we're trying to do this to where there's no cost for anyone in the village for us to be able to do what we want to do with the park. But we're going to leave it up to the residents of the village. We will have a special meeting on May 20th where you can come in, say your piece, and at the end of it, we should decide real quick, because if we're not going to keep it a golf course, it'd be senseless to pay all the money to maintain it as a golf course. Then the job, I'm pretty sure, would drop down to, I don't have the figures in front of me, but I want to say it was around $68,000 a year to just cut the grass. That wouldn't be fertilizing it and weed feeding it, so we're going to leave it up to the residents. But for right now, what we want to do is pick an option. Let's get the golf course getting cut, because if they are going to keep it, we need to do something now or it's going to be too late. So with that being said, basically what I need now is I need a motion for option, whatever you're going to do with this, and any discussion.
I'll make a motion for option 2.
Option 2 is to basically just cut the park, not to maintain the greens, tees, and fairways?
It does.
No, it does include.
It does include.
Option 2 does?
Yes.
It says does.
Oh, okay. Take that back, it does. That would be $2,578.75 per cut, $3,600 for application of both fertilizer and weed control around a 100-foot perimeter. So, and this would preserve the existing greens, tees, and fairways. So do I have a second to number 2?
I second.
Madam Clerk, would you call?
Oh, I have questions.
Oh, yeah.
Is R&R here?
Yes, you're right here.
Would you want to go up to the podium?
And then this way,
I was
any
just-
questions they've got, we just need answered.
Like, in the future, when this goes into a park, do you recommend always fertilizing and weed control, or is that something because you don't have to, would it be done maybe once every other year?
Of course, we would recommend it. Your best value would be in the fall. Fertilize it in the fall, and you'll be healthy enough for the summer. Now, coming from a golf course background, you know, it's 7 to 10 times the amount of fertilizer a normal yard is. You know, the value of the course is in great shape. It could be a very, very nice public course. It could be a nice park district course also. And of course, that's up to you guys and what you want to do. But the fertilizer would be an asset for it. It would keep it nice, keep it growing, make it thicker, and of course, you know, the thicker the grass, the less weeds you have.
Okay.
So, and also, I would just like to say, option 2 does not include the fairways.
Okay, because then I have a typo here.
Yes, and Scott and I did talk about this.
Oh.
So.
Because
Option
originally,
three
we
was
didn't have the
fairways.
fairways in the original bid. We just had the greens and tees.
Okay, so it does, okay.
Are you cutting all of the grass?
Um,
Because I know there's a difference between a fairway and a rough.
Right.
Although,
The-
that's what I've been told.
Right, the original RFP was for cutting everything as park district grass.
Right.
Except the tees and fairways, or the tees and greens were an option.
Right.
So,
But then they go back and cut if they decide that it's gonna be a golf course and they want you to mow the fairways, throw them in the
it's
fairways.
very, very hard to get them to come back.
Okay.
If you do decide to let it go to park grass, maybe down the line, you know, next year, whatever you decide you want to bring the greens, the tees and the fairways back, you're gonna have to tear them up and reseed them completely, which would be over $500,000, just a rough estimate.
To reseed did you say the greens?
The greens, tees, and fairways.
If we don't take care of it.
So,
If you don't maintain it as a golf course.
So you're saying that if there's any prospect of using it as a golf course, in addition to doing the greens and the tee boxes, they need to mow the fairways as
Correct.
fairways now?
Correct.
Okay, as opposed to...
For letting it go, yes.
So what we could do, if I could remember, what we could do is we could use option 3, but piggyback option 2 onto 3. In other words, you would have the cost that's associated with maintaining everything in option 3, but then we could go 100 feet in for the fertilizing and weed control. So it would actually be kind of like an option number 6. So we could do that.
So what we're doing then, if you go to option 3, we're talking about,
Yeah, option 3
cutting,
includes... Yeah, go ahead.
$1,000 more to cut it per week, that's $4,000 a month, plus an additional $3,000 for the fertilizer, so that's $7,000 more for the month to maintain it. Now, my question to you is that, do you have the specialized equipment to cut the greens and tees like a golf course?
Yes.
So the guys are gonna be out there by hand, they're gonna cut them, they're gonna roll them?
Yes.
They're gonna do any aeration on them?
No, because it was not included with the
All right, so
RFP.
just keep it cut down as a
Yes.
green?
Yes.
So that if the board decides to make it a golf course, somebody can walk on there and the greens are ready to play?
Yes.
Would, just a quick question for me. It says application of fertilizer only in option 3 and application of weed control in 4. The prices are pretty close. It's another $400 for the weed. Does it have to be fertilized, or, I mean, it seems like the weeds are the biggest problem.
That's the thing, if you want to keep it as a course, I would recommend mowing it as a course. The fertilizer is completely up to the village. It will decline a little bit from what it is if it doesn't get any nutrients. The weed control, obviously you don't want the weeds to get out of control. If you start too many weeds in the greens, tees, and fairways, the chemical that is used is very costly compared to maintaining that. So if it gets overrun with dandelions or crabgrass or anything else, it will be much more expensive down the road to maintain it.
Okay. Then the other question is, because most of the time you weed it at the beginning of the season and you're set with it. Does this have to be weeded weed fed every month? Or is this is just a one shot at the beginning of the year? So after that, basically what you're looking at is $3,600 to cut it after that.
Correct.
Okay.
And of course, if there are weeds here and there, my guys do either pull them or they just spot spray.
Okay.
No matter what, it's always included with our mowing.
Okay. So with that, everyone understands that, the big worry would be the weeds rather than the fertilizing. You're looking at a one-time shot of $7,200, and then it would run $3,600 per cut. So you're probably going to be a minimum of 4 cuts for the month. So you're at around $18,000. You're around $25,000 for the month, but then after that it would revert back down to 18 if we kept them cutting it as a golf course. So you guys.
So you're looking at option 4 now.
Well, option 4, the only reason I'm saying 4 is the weed control is more important than the fertilizing right now. I mean, if it came down to someone picking up the golf course and using it, let them do the fertilizing on it. We'll keep it to where it's weed free for the first, for the season, but then after that, someone would have to do the fertilizer.
My only question there would be, is the golf course feasible this year?
You went out there and looked at it, didn't you?
I would say within 1 to 2 weeks, you could go out there and play on it. You could play on it now. Luckily, we've had cool enough weather at nighttime for the past 2 weeks that the course is not overgrown. For the first week, it will look a little raggy. It will look a little yellow because we are cutting up. You'd be cutting off a lot on the fairway to fairway height. But after the first week or two, I'd say there'd be absolutely no problem with people golfing on it.
I have a question. So this is this like a monthly contract, or is this just per cut? Because until we have our meeting in May.
Was based on that, and then the gentleman asked for a per cut.
The contract will be on a per cut. With prices that will be honored if you decide to extend it.
Right. Okay.
Beyond.
My concern is we're putting the cart before the horse. I mean, we're talking about spending $7,000 to $10,000 more to maintain as a golf course when we haven't discussed if we want to keep it a golf course. The board has no dollars and cents in front of them. With research, what it cost us, what kind of an agreement we can have with somebody to run the golf course. So I wish we had that in front of us before we're deciding this. I mean, if you're cutting the greens and you're doing, like say on option 2, it could be 3 weeks from now and we say, forget it. It's just too costly. There's nobody to manage it. Why should we spend $10,000 or $7,000 more if we have no idea what we're going to do with property right now? That's what my concern is. I mean, we spend this kind of money, not even any consensus of the board, any dollars and cents in front of us to see what this is going to cost us, and if there's anybody out there that is willing to sign a contract with our terms and conditions. So to me, I just say, cut the grass, keep the greens short, the tees or the greens short, and the next 3 weeks do our due diligence.
Would you think maybe option 3 without the fertilizer?
We're not landscapers. We don't know what that would do. I mean, we could probably sit here all night and say, well, let's take this out and that out and don't do this extent. I say we just need to make a decision. If we don't cut the grass at least now, then even as a park, it's going to be a hayfield. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 3 weeks with information that's going to come in front of this board. I just don't want to spend $7,000 if we have no information in front of us.
So, but with that said, if we can, this is a per cut basis.
It is.
Yes.
We could, at some point in the near future, switch to a different option?
You could.
Okay.
So I would
But
think,
I would like to interject. If you go and let fairways go,
Understood.
then of course it will look, the fairways will look horrible if you cut them as park turf and then want to turn back into fairways.
And they can go quickly, you're saying? 3 weeks, 4
Yeah.
weeks?
No, I mean, to go, you know, to that height of turf, regular, you know, sports turf, pretty quick.
All right, well, I agree with trustee Costa on, see, the problem that we have here is we never had an opportunity to be able to sit down with someone to actually ask them if they wanted to do it. But you've got a couple $1 million worth of tees, greens, and everything out there that you hate to have it go to waste if someone can pick it up and then it doesn't cost the taxpayers anything. So I saw what trustee Costa was trying to do, and it made sense. But also in 2, it does not include the fairways that's on the sheet.
Correct.
So if we wanted basically the whole park cut, you'd be looking at $3,608.75. In the applications of the fertilizer and weed control, we could hold off at least till we get to talk to somebody to find out if there's any interest. If not, then yes, then all we're gonna do is go to a straight cutting.
Yes.
Okay. How's that sound?
That would be
It would be basically 3 or 4 without the weed
without
control
any
or the
fertilizer or weed control for 3 weeks.
I can see that.
And then that way, we also get a chance to sit down and talk to somebody to see if they are interested in it. And then when we have the meeting on the 20th, which is 3 weeks from now, we will have a much better idea, and we're not wasting any money.
There you go.
So,
I would have to amend my motion?
correct. Yes.
So I amend the motion to accept option 4 without any fertilizer or weed control.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any more discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweets?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, second one on the agenda, and this is a real short one. We need to establish a special village board meeting. We want to get the community meeting to discuss the future use of the Village Hall Park property. So, there's a motion to approve a special village board meeting for Wednesday, May 20th at 7 p.m. for the purpose of holding a community meeting to discuss the future use of the new Village Hall Park property. Do I have a motion?
I so move.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, you probably want to mention the location of the meeting in the
Oh, it should be in the motion. If it's not going to be here, it has to be in the motion. Is the meeting here, Kim?
I believe that the intention is to hold it at Woodbine.
We did discuss it, but it doesn't, it's now listed there.
Okay,
so
so that would be
we have
part
to do-
of, it's part of the motion would be to have the meeting on May 20th at 7 p.m. at the Woodbine facility.
There you go.
This way, everyone, we had talked about it before. It gives everyone an opportunity to see what the inside looks like, and we can also inform you of what they plan on doing in there with the property.
Okay, open for discussion. What I'd like to see from now until the 20th, or actually as early as we can, find out if somebody's interested in doing this. And I think we, as a board, need to know, first off, if we want to pay a fee for someone to do it, or if it's going to be no fee, and someone comes in, opens a golf course, maintains a golf course, and it's no dollars and cents to the community, no cost whatsoever to the community. And as far as my opinion is, I don't care, I'm not looking for anything either out of it. I mean, the village, the main thing is having somebody do it and no cost to the village. And of course, it goes without saying they'd have to do it beside using any part of the existing building.
Right.
It would have to be done on a, like a trailer type basis.
And you have a management agreement from last year, so you've already got the format put together to do this.
And I think we need to know that prior to that meeting, because if it's not feasible to even do, why have the meeting?
Right. Correct. Well, we can still find out what they would like to do, but at least we'd be able to tell them yes or no on the golf course.
Exactly.
Okay.
Is that direction to do, I'm not quite sure what that direction is that direction to do an RFP, a public process, to just call up people and ask them
We
if they're
need to
interested?
find out if anybody's interested. However, we have to do it. Why should we go in a meeting if someone's going to come to us and say, well, you know, this is what it's going to cost the village for me to run this golf course?
Because I'm not in favor of that either.
Given the short window between now and the meeting, you just call it out.
Right.
We'll go for it.
Yeah. Try to find
Yeah,
it out.
I could work with you on that.
Okay.
Because given the short time frame, you're not gonna have time to put together an RFP and publish it.
No, we wouldn't. Yeah. All right, so everyone understand what we're gonna do now? We're gonna talk to companies to see if anyone will step up to the plate to take over the golf course. They would maintain it, so there's no cost to the village whatsoever. It would not be a long contract because we have to find out what the residents want here. And we still have to get the engineering company out there, and if they do have to do any work, they'd have to get on a golf course. So
And if
this-
there's no one that's interested in doing it under those terms, then there would be no special meeting, correct?
No, we still could have the special meeting just to be able to have what ideas the residents want, because we still have to go out and get the engineer, and we'd like to know what they'd like to do to the
For
park.
overall park plan.
Correct. Correct. So with that, we've got the motion set then, or, okay. So I need to call the roll.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Suisse?
Aye.
Motion carries. So, with that, again, like we said, if there's any questions, any concerns, just come and see us, call us, talk to us. All our cell phones are online. If you get to the village website, they're all listed. I just got a new phone, I don't remember the number, so I will get that for you. And business cards, are they here now?
They are, I think.
Okay, so I'll have the business cards out too, but do come to us. With that, is there any old business?
You can't have old business or...
No, because it's not.
Gotta be on the agenda.
Okay, all right, well then, basically, motion to adjourn. So moved. Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.